What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Dynamic Leaders page. I'm Norman Harbin, and I'm so glad to have you guys here with me for yet another dynamic topic. Learn to control your emotions. Man, I truly want to have this conversation. I'm excited about it. So many people are losing control of their emotions, and we need to have this discussion today. But before we go down that road, I truly want to say that emotions are gifts from God. They're good things, right? Because they are indicators of importance. You know, we think about people that we love. If someone messes with our loved ones or people that are close to us, we become angry and we want to defend them. Or if we have lost a loved one, we become saddened and we go through the process of grieving. So our emotions actually inspire us to action. They inspire us to take appropriate actions in order to address situations. And so they're good things. Our emotions are good things when we use them the right way. Obviously, we're having this discussion because so many people are not taking control of their emotions, not using them in the right way. And when we don't use them in the right way, then we miss out on opportunities. And of course, I don't want that. So I want to make sure that we have this very important discussion today. So let's dive right into this and have this conversation together. So as we're talking about emotion, I want to ask you guys this question first. Have you noticed the word that is hidden inside of emotion? Have you noticed the word that is hidden inside of emotion? Do you have it? Actually, it's not really hidden. The word is motion, right? You add the letter E, and it's emotion. So motion is all about movement, right? Taking steps forward. When you think about physical motion, we think about, maybe some activity, someone throwing a football or a baseball, or someone taking steps to move from one place to the next. Now, when you parallel that to emotion, we're talking about movement of the soul, or moving from one state of emotion to the next, changing your mood or changing your attitude. And when it comes to those changes, they happen across a spectrum of emotions, right? So let me give an example. They're really across the spectrum of emotions. You have negative emotions and you have positive emotions. So on the negative side, probably on the lower end of the spectrum, you have, being bothered. Maybe someone bothers you or something bothers you. So it's not really something that you're aware of every day. It's something that comes here and there, and it steals your focus every now and then. So that's at the lower end of the spectrum. Probably somewhere in the middle is frustration and aggravation. So this is something that you are aware of on a daily basis. It's something that maybe you don't have control over and you really want to have control over, and so you're working towards that, but it's causing you some pain going through the process. And then obviously at the higher end of the negative spectrum would be enraged. Someone who's enraged has lost control of their emotions, and they're ready to cause harm to someone. They're ready to get physical, and they are, again, not in control. To look at that in a positive light, probably at the lower end of the spectrum, we have contentment. So this is someone, that on the balance scale is probably even. You have just as many negative things happen, or in your perspective, just as many negative things happen as positive things happening in your life. So life is neither good or bad, but you're content with where you are, right? In the middle would be happiness, right? Most of us tend to lean towards focusing or lend our focus towards happiness, right? We want to think about birthdays and celebrations. Christmas is right on the way. So we have a lot of things to be grateful for, and we tend to think about the things that we are grateful for rather than the things that we are ungrateful for. And then obviously on the higher end of the spectrum of positivity would be euphoric. So we're extremely excited about life. Things are better than we expect. Life is our utopia, and we are just on a level 10. And so obviously there's a range, and so all of us fall into different areas on that range of positivity and negativity, and we have a disposition. And so that brings me to our maybe first sub point, I would say, but learn your disposition. Become aware of where you sit. Most of us probably sit in the area of contentment, because we have some frustrations, we have some aggravations, we're bothered some of the time. We are content and we have some happiness. So when you average all that out, most of us are content with life. Things could be better and they could be worse. But obviously the goal is to shift your emotion more towards the positive end of the spectrum. Why? Because when you shift towards the positive end of the spectrum, you feel comfortable, you feel great about life, you feel more control of your emotions, and you're able to handle negative situations and things that happen in your life. So the first thing, become aware of your disposition so that you can, again, shift your perspective and shift your disposition to a higher end of the positive spectrum. Now, here's truly the first point, or it leads us to our first point, is that there's really two areas that we endanger when we are not in control of our emotions. Firstly, we endanger relationships. Secondly, we endanger opportunities. So think about relationships with people. Obviously, when we say something we don't mean, or we say something hurtful to another person, we can damage that relationship. Sometimes it's terminal to the relationship and we're unable to continue. When we think about opportunities, some of us sabotage or have sabotaged opportunities because we've lost control of our emotions. I think back to people in high school that were promised scholarships, and they did something crazy. They lost control of their emotions, and they lost, not only lost a scholarship, but they were barred from the school. So it's very important to understand the relationship between your emotions or controlling your emotions and how it has effect on our relationships and the opportunities. So every person, regardless of how influential they are, every purpose is dependent upon another person or dependent upon people. You think about, the people that you admire, their gifts and their talents. What makes them great or what makes them memorable are the people that carry on their memories, the people that were affected by them, and the people that deem their life, their actions as important. So if you are not managing your emotions or you sabotage those relationships, then in essence, you are limiting the potential for your purpose, right? All of our purposes are tied to people, how we affect people, how we impact the lives of people. So when you don't have a good connectivity with other people because you have sabotaged those relationships, then that significantly impacts your purpose or your ability to live out your purpose and to impact the lives of those people. And obviously, every opportunity comes through another person. So again, if you don't have good connectivity with people and you're sabotaging relationships, then that's also going to affect the opportunities that you're able to take advantage of. So be aware, and then also make sure that you understand that the importance of taking control of your emotions, because if you don't, you sabotage those relationships and those opportunities. Second point is to understand that you have to prepare for things that are unexpected, right? So all of us have expectations in life. We have expectations of our family members. We have expectations on our job. We have expectations of our church and social groups and clubs. And typically when people are meeting those expectations, or let's say 70% of those expectations are being met, then we feel comfortable enough to continue on in those relationships. But once we start trailing below 50%, the further we go below 50%, the more we are unwilling, or the more people are unwilling to stick around for those relationships, and the more you are unhappy or unfulfilled with your expectations being met, right? And so the truth is, we're going to have to all deal with things that are unexpected. People are not always going to live up to our expectations, situations not always going to meet our expectations, and so we have to be ready to deal with that. I can think this year of having an expectation of business. I'm in real estate, and there was a property that I expected to have done within 2 months. The job was dragged out, and so I had to control my emotions. If I did not control my emotions in that situation, I could have sabotaged the relationship, sabotaged the job, and sabotage the profit and the opportunity to help a family. And so controlling your emotions are very important. Think to expectations that you have. Maybe some of you had expectations for a certain job or for a certain promotion. You didn't receive that promotion, you didn't receive that job, or when you received the job, it did not provide a salary or the pay that you wanted to receive. I think back to my first job. It was only half of what I wanted, but at least, I had a job. So I had to be grateful for the part of my expectation was fulfilled, which is I had a job, but obviously I did not expect the pay that I received. And so when it comes to managing things that are unexpected, we have to do a great job of doing that. Here's the thing. When we do a good job or we're a steward over little things, God says when we're faithful over little, God makes us ruler over much, which basically means when we deal with things that we don't particularly enjoy, things that we did not expect, and we manage them well as if, they are the things that we do want and things that we do expect, then we have an opportunity to graduate to receiving things that we do want and things that we have expectations for. So there's a little bit of a process there in going from or dealing with things that we don't expect, things that we don't like and don't want, from going moving through that process to things that we do want, things that we do like, and moving into things that we do expect. All right. So that's that's our first point, or second point actually. Moving into our last point. So we have to learn to control our emotions when dealing with people who have no commitments to controlling their emotions, right? So we have to work with different types of people. We're not going to just work with people that we like, people that we love, people that we get along with. We're going to be working with people who have no commitments, who have a lower commitment to controlling their emotions. These are people that are just responsive. They always respond based on how they feel. And so when we're dealing with these people, it is very tempting to clap back. It's very tempting to get with these people, show them that we can be just as aggressive, just as assertive as they are. But again, that sabotages and that damages opportunities, right? You have to work with people that are not like you, people that are different from you, so that you can accomplish the goal, accomplish the mission. And so don't allow someone else's standard to change your standard. Keep your same standard concerning your emotions so that you're able to, again, accomplish the mission, accomplish the goal, so that you're not limiting your purpose, not limiting yourself, and accomplishing that which has given to you. And the Bible says it this way. It says, show kindness to others, all right? Or when you show kindness or kill people with kindness, then it's like hot coals on their head. So in other words, people will come back and apologize. People can't take the kindness and continue to repay you with evil. But it does something to most people to change them internally. And they may come back and say, you know what? I was wrong for that. I'm sorry. And then you win that person over. And guess what? You're able to do more work and more fulfilling work with that person. All right? So guys, take these nuggets, use them in your life, use them in your day. Make sure you do an assessment of your emotions, and that you understand your disposition and where you want to move, and you want to move further up the scale of positivity. All right. So as we're closing, I want you guys to do two things for me. I want you to share and like this video. Okay. So those things are combined. So go out to our Facebook page, like the Facebook page, Dynamic Leaders, and also subscribe to the Facebook channel. I'm going to be coming out with more content that I want you guys to have access to as soon as it comes out, all right? So continue to get the word out there as we share these messages and as we help people grow more dynamically as leaders, all right? So guys, take care, have a great rest of the week, and I will see you next time.